In this video, we will learn about the physiology of hemoglobin. So, learning objective of this topic will be we'll study the structure of hemoglobin, then the types in brief, then when the switch occur between fetal and adult hemoglobin, then the in brief about synthesis of hemoglobin, then the functions, and then the applied aspects of the hemoglobin. So, hemoglobin is a globular protein consisting of four subunits, and each subunit has one heme component and one polypeptide chain. Okay, so there are four heme, and four polypeptide chain. So in this case, you are seeing the red one are two alpha chain and green one are two beta chain, and the blue color globulus structure is heme. So coming to the different types of the chains and when they are synthesized. So x-axis is showing the age, and initially it is the in the fetal life, in gestation, and after birth in months. Then the percentage of globin chain synthesis. So as you see in this diagram, the major, or you can see 50% contribution is by alpha chain. Okay, so most of the hemoglobin types will be consisting of alpha chain. Then you are seeing that initially before 3 months of the age, there are epsilon and psi chain, and these are embryonic hemoglobin. They constitute embryonic hemoglobin, and they are synthesized in initial phase of gestation, and at near about 3 months they decline to zero. Okay, then you are seeing that the synthesis of gamma chain is increasing as the gestation is advancing beyond 3 months, and it is contributing the more percentage in the later phase of the gestation. So fetal hemoglobin is what? 2 alpha and 2 gamma chain. So the percentage of fetal hemoglobin is more in fetus. And you see the beta chain. Initially it's very low. Okay, from 3 month onward it is increasing slowly, and then after birth you can see that gamma is now declining and beta is increasing, and there is switch occurring before 3 months of age. And so adult hemoglobin uh, is majorly composed of alpha chain and beta chain. So 2 alpha and 2 beta is adult hemoglobin. Okay, and you are seeing little bit of delta chain also after just before the birth, and it is remaining in the low level in the adult life also. So 2 alpha and 2 delta chain will constitute HbA2 hemoglobin. Okay, so for types of hemoglobin, I will prepare a next video or separate video for types of hemoglobin. Till now, you just remember that switch in the fetal life, fetal hemoglobin, which constitute 2 alpha and 2 gamma chain, is in higher proportion, and after birth, adult hemoglobin is in higher proportion, 2 alpha and 2 beta chain, and there is switch occurring between the fetal hemoglobin and adult hemoglobin near about after birth and birth to 3 month of age, there is switch occurring. Okay, so now coming to the concentration of hemoglobin in the RBC. So RBC have ability to concentrate hemoglobin in the cell fluid up to about 34 gram in each 100 milliliter of the cells. So if we consider the compact volume of RBC, 100 ml compact volume of the RBC, in that maximum concentration of hemoglobin which can be achieved is 34 gram. So this concentration does not rise above this value because this is the metabolic limit of cells hemoglobin forming mechanism. Furthermore, in normal people, the percentage of hemoglobin is almost always near the maximum in each cell. However, when hemoglobin formation is deficient, the percentage of hemoglobin in the cell may fall considerably below this value, and the volume of red cell may also decrease because of diminished hemoglobin to fill the cell. So, if we reiterate this point, that if somehow if hemoglobin formation is deficient, what it will cause, it will fill less space in inside the RBC. And as you know that hemoglobin, iron is the important component of hemoglobin. Suppose iron is deficient, so hemoglobin formation will be decreased, and it will fill less space inside the cell, so RBC size will also decrease. So hemoglobin, iron deficiency will cause microcytic anemia because of this. So when the hematocrit is what, it is the percentage of blood that is cells, means when we centrifuge the blood and the cells settle down in the lower portion, then it constitutes near about 40 to 45% of the volume, and that volume is packed cell volume or hematocrit. And the quantity of hemoglobin in each respective cells are normal. The whole blood of men contains about an 15 gram of hemoglobin per 100 ml of cells. For women, it contains about 14 gram per 100 ml of the cells. Okay, so it means that if hematocrit is normal, hemoglobin formation mechanism is normal, then the men will have near about 15 gram percent of the hemoglobin, and women will have 14 gram percent of the hemoglobin. And another important uh, aspect or a point which you have to remember, that each gram of pure hemoglobin is capable of combining with 1.3 milliliter of oxygen. So so you have to remember this value also. Because when we come to another uh, concept in which we will calculate the total amount of oxygen carried by blood, this value will be important. Okay, so sites of synthesis of hemoglobin, actually hemoglobin is synthesized inside the RBC. So synthesis of RBC is what, erythropoiesis. So initially erythropoiesis occurs in the yolk sac in early phase of gestation. When coming to middle of the gestation, liver is the important site for synthesis of RBCs. Then in the last month of gestation, bone marrow is the important site. And in this graph you are see sorry, coming to this graph, in the initial stages of life up to near about 20 year of life, you are seeing that long bones like femur, tibia constitute the majority of the erythropoiesis contribution. But as the age is advancing, you are seeing the flat bones like vertebra, sternum, ribs are contributing more to the erythropoiesis. So erythropoiesis in the later phase of life occurs in the flat bones, and in early phase it occurs in the long bones. Now, stages of erythropoiesis is initial stages. From stem cell, there will be formation of proerythroblast or pronormoblast, then basophilic erythroblast, then polychromatophilic erythroblast, then orthochromatic erythroblast. Then the nucleus will be removed from the developing RBCs in the reticulocyte, and then these reticulocyte will go into the circulation. So up to reticulocyte stage, it is in the bone marrow, then RBCs will go into the circulation, and there will be no nucleus in the RBC. So why we are learning erythropoiesis stages? Because when the hemoglobin, we will learn the concept that when hemoglobin formation occurs in case of erythropoiesis. So synthesis of hemoglobin begins in the proerythroblast and continues even into the reticulocyte stage of the red blood cell. Therefore, when reticulocytes leave the bone marrow and pass into the bloodstream, they continue to form minute quantity of hemoglobin for another day or so until they become mature erythrocyte. So it means there is some reticulocyte are also going into the blood, and in 1 or 2 days they will transform into RBC. So from proerythroblast stage to reticulocyte stage, hemoglobin formation is occurring. Okay, this is the important concept. Now coming to synthesis of hemoglobin, very simplified way, or reactions we are seeing, not as case of biochemistry where you'll see the very complicated diagrams. So 2-succinyl coenzyme A molecule and 2 glycine molecule will form one pyrrole ring. Okay, and when 4 pyrrole ring combines, they form protoporphyrin 9, and this protoporphyrin 9, when combined with Fe2 plus, then it is heme. Okay, and when heme is combined with polypeptide chain, hemoglobin chain will form. So it may be either alpha chain or beta chain, and 2 alpha chain and 2 beta chain will form one hemoglobin. So fetal hemoglobin is what? 2 alpha and 2 gamma is fetal hemoglobin. So this is very simple, you have to remember this. This is the again the diagram in which you are seeing that iron is in the center of the tetrapyrrole ring, and it is attached to oxygen at one end and polypeptide chain to other end. Okay, so this is the again the same diagram: 2 alpha, 2 beta chain, 4 hemes, oxygen transport. Now function of hemoglobin, very important function of hemoglobin is oxygen transport. So hemoglobin molecule can combine with the 4 molecule of oxygen. So if it is combined with 4 molecule of oxygen, it means it is 100% saturated. And you are seeing that this is the ferrous Fe2 plus. If we see in center there is Fe2 plus, it combines in deoxygenated state, it is not combined with oxygen, and in oxygenated state it is combined with oxygen, but there is no change in the valency of iron, so there is no oxidation or reduction is occurring at the level of oxygen combination. So this is different from oxidation. Because of that it is called oxygenation. So deoxygenated hemoglobin, when oxygen is not bound to hemoglobin, and oxygenated hemoglobin when oxygen is bound to the hemoglobin. Okay, so important job of hemoglobin is oxygen transport and also carbon dioxide transport. So iron moiety of hemoglobin binds loosely and reversibly to oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. The affinity of hemoglobin for oxygen is affected by pH, temperature, 2,3 by phosphoglycerate concentration, and these factors facilitate oxygen uptake in the lungs and its release in the tissues, which will be called Halden and Bohr's effect, which we will study in next videos. Then the important concept here, that if there is change in the polypeptide subunit of globin, or there is, then it will affect the affinity of hemoglobin to bind with O2. So suppose if there is any defect in the polypeptide chains, whether it is qualitative or quantitative. Qualitative means, suppose sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia, there will be change in the beta chain. The glycine amino acid is replaced by valine. So this will decrease the affinity for hemoglobin. This is qualitative defect. And thalassemia is quantitative defect, and it is of two type: alpha thalassemia and beta thalassemia. If alpha chain formation is defective, it is called alpha thalassemia. If beta chain formation, and this is quantity defect in the quantity, decreased quantity. So if beta chain formation is defective, then it is beta thalassemia. In both case, uh, affinity of these hemoglobins will be less for hemoglobin, and they will carry less oxygen. And also, hemoglobin is important in carbon dioxide transport. And the third important function is that locally hemoglobin is a protein which is acting as a buffer. So pH balance is important function of hemoglobin. It is a third important function. So three important function: oxygen transport, carbon dioxide transport, and local buffer action we learned today. Thank you for your patient listening.